Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there was a small village nestled in the heart of a lush forest. The villagers were happy and peaceful people, living in harmony with nature and each other. They had everything they needed to live a simple but fulfilling life. The villagers were known for their skill in crafting beautiful wooden furniture and tools, which they traded with neighboring towns and cities. They also had bountiful crops and a thriving livestock population. They had a small school where the children were taught reading, writing, and arithmetic, and there was a community center where the villagers would gather for celebrations and festivals. However, one day, a great storm swept through the village, destroying many homes and leaving the people homeless and frightened. The villagers were at a loss as to what to do. Some suggested rebuilding the village in the same spot, while others suggested moving to a new location. The village chief, a wise and respected leader, called for a council meeting to discuss what to do. Each villager was invited to speak and share their perspective on the matter. The first villager to speak was the blacksmith. He said, "We should rebuild the village in the same spot. We have always lived here, and this is our home. We have the skills and resources to rebuild what was lost." The second villager to speak was the farmer. She said, "We should move the village to a new location. The land here is no longer fertile, and we will never be able to grow crops again. We must find a new place to call home." The third villager to speak was the healer. She said, "We should not make a hasty decision. We should take time to consider all options and seek the advice of the spirits of the forest. They will guide us to the right path." As the villagers discussed and debated the issue, it became clear that there were valid arguments on both sides. The blacksmith argued that rebuilding in the same spot would honor the memory of the homes and lives that were lost, and that the village had a rich history that should be preserved. The farmer argued that the soil was no longer fertile and that rebuilding would be a waste of resources. The healer suggested that the spirits of the forest would guide them to the right path, but she was not sure where that path would lead. The chief listened to each perspective and considered all options. He knew that a decision needed to be made quickly, as the villagers were in dire need of shelter and resources. After much deliberation, he made a decision. He said, "We will rebuild our village in a new location. We will honor the spirits of the forest by preserving their land and finding a new location that is safe and bountiful." The villagers were pleased with the chief's decision, and they set out to find a new location for their village. They searched high and low, and finally, they found the perfect spot. It was a lush valley surrounded by mountains, with a clear river running through it. They built new homes and farms and started a new life. The new village was even more beautiful than the old one, and the villagers were able to rebuild their lives with even greater success. They planted new crops and raised new livestock, and their furniture and tools were even more beautiful than before. The school and community center were rebuilt, and the village was once again a thriving community. Years passed, and the village prospered. The villagers had forgotten the storm that had destroyed their home, and they were grateful for the new life they had built. The chief, who had made the difficult decision to move the village, was remembered as a wise and respected. Sometimes, it takes a great storm to bring about change, but with determination and cooperation, a new path can be found.